Is it possible that both fighters are coming out of UFC 239 with positives?
Is it possible? I think it's an absolute fact. Look, here's the thing about Ben Askren, and sometimes this was missed. And then when he started to really get his run, when he started to become a star within the UFC, what I've always contended that people were beginning to see is this is a real guy. And yeah, he plays the game a little bit. He understands it's a fight business. He's not afraid to point his finger at a few chests and say, I'm the best in the world. But Errol, when you have an undefeated record of 19-0 and 2 championship belts from 2 different organizations around your waist, I think it gets a little bit of legs in addition to that. He's a sportsman. That's what we're seeing here more than anything else. Look, you have the battle, you have the talk, you sign the contracts, you make the weight, you walk out there. But at the end of the day, regardless of the outcome, you tip your hat to your opponent and you walk away. That is what Askren did. And frankly, Errol, coming on your show, doing that thing that we just saw the clip of in record time, I don't think a lot of people thought we would see him. We've seen fighters go into depression. We've seen them go to some really dark places. Where'd Askren go? He went on your show, the biggest show in MMA, Ariel. I think that people like that.
Yeah, I think they like it very much. And I actually want to go back around 9 or so years because we have seen a lot of heartbreaking losses in this sport. But in August of 2010, Chael, I learned a valuable lesson about losses in MMA and heartbreaking losses. I learned that they cannot be a death sentence if you don't allow them to be a death sentence. And when you lost to Anderson Silva, and when you showed up to that press conference and you faced all the music and you did all the interviews and you spoke to Mike Straka after, I remember all of it, a light went off in my head. Look at the way he's handling this. And I saw the people rally around you. And I saw the people rally around Daniel Cormier when he lost to John Jones at UFC 217, how heartbreaking that was. And I saw the people rally around Dominic Cruz when he lost his belt. And I saw people rally around Conor McGregor when he lost to Nate Diaz. And everyone thought that it would be a death sentence for him. And so what we learned here from Ben Askren, he is just doing what so many others before him have done. You face the music, you come out, you don't shy away from it, you don't hide, you don't make it worse, and people actually end up liking you more. It's an amazing phenomenon. I would say right here on this Wednesday that you can argue that Ben Askren is even more popular today than he was last week going into this fight as an undefeated fighter, and that's because everyone loves an underdog. Everyone loves a reclamation project. Everyone loves someone that they could finally rally around, that's human, that's, okay, we want to pick you up. We want to see how you rebound from this. And all of you have done it before, and that's why I was so critical of Ronda Rousey when she lost to Holly Holm. You don't need to hide. You don't need to, look, everyone grieves in their own way, but you don't need to use this as a death sentence. Your career is not over. Trust me, we've seen it time and again. Ben Askren is just another example of that, and I'm so impressed with how he's handling this. Look, Masvidal deserves a lot of credit for what he did, but Askren showing up on the show, I didn't think he was going to do it. I didn't think he was going to handle it like that. Major props to him. I'm so impressed.
Masvidal, after the referee said, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, let's fight. After he does that, Masvidal puts his hands behind his back. Errol, you remember the old pro wrestling days where the heel would put his hands behind his back and then present a one-handed handshake. And the good guy would look left and he'd look right. Should I do it? And the crowd would go, no, don't do it. He can't be trusted. And the bad guy's going, oh, yes, I can. Yes, I can. And then eventually the good guy shakes his hand and the bad guy kicks him in the stomach and brings that hand in his. You remember these days? This is what Masvidal did. He tried to put his hands behind his back as though to say, I am defensive. I can be trusted. I am no threat to you. His hands aren't cuffed behind his back. He willfully placed them there. That is to try to tell Ben Askren, I am not a threat to you. I can be trusted. Perhaps I didn't even hear the referee say go, which I will tell you, I sat next to you and watched this fight live, Helwani. That, and I realize it's only a second, but it represents 20% of this contest. I thought perhaps Masvidal didn't hear the referee say go. Then he takes off on a beeline and sprints and comes in and gets him. I just want Masvidal to get credit. This was a well-played, well-thought-out tactic. Hats off.
Yeah, and it's incredible to watch the footage that they posted afterwards of them training for this. I mean, his coach, Mike Brown, told me that they were talking about this for 2 months leading up to the fight. So this is no fluke. And again, Ben didn't say it was a fluke. Ben gave him all the props in the world. And this is one of my favorite phenomenons in this sport. Seeing how a fighter deals with the loss, because more often than not, if they handle it the right way, like I said, they end up being more popular. And I hope that this is a lesson for everyone out there watching, every fighter. It's easy for me to sit in this chair and tell you how to deal with a loss, but I hope they realize that it should not be the end of your career. Look at what Ben Askren has done. I mean, this could have ruined him. 5-second knockout after talking all that trash, it could have ruined him. It hasn't ruined him. I'm even more interested in seeing how he rebounds, and I think it's thanks to people like you, how you handled that loss way back when.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and special content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.